With this painting, I was really aiming to get that blue sky, the intensity of light, that lovely little light effect, joining with the cow, but those rich green grasses. Let's see how I go. Okay, this kind of proves that not every painting works. There's that time when I've chosen an idea, or I've chosen an idea that was a little too technically difficult for the time that I have. Sometimes I'll start a painting fairly late in the afternoon, even though that would be my second painting for the day, but I'm painting really well and think, oh geez, you know what, I can probably squeeze another painting in. And very good chance with that underpainting, I just didn't quite have enough time. And for me, that's a easy recipe for disaster, or good recipe for disaster, because I'm normally always trying to go a little more technically difficult, a little more interesting, a little more dynamic, and that's what happens. With this one, I'm just trying to block in those big shapes, get the hay bales, the shed, the nice dark up the top. That'll almost act like hair on a person's head. The bluey grey area, that's more like the face. So that'll actually help if the eye's going up and bringing it back down to where the cow is, the darks on the cow, on the Frisian cow there. So yeah, so just pushing on with those big shapes. And it was one of those beautiful, clear, crisp days, magnificent blue sky. So I was mostly using the French ultramarine blue, tiny little bit of alizarin as I get down lower to the sky. But also the beauty in putting the foliage in, I can come down and just grab a little bit of that, and that'll just grey off the very bottom. I'm always very careful that you don't go in too heavy-handed, grab too much, and then it'll dirty it, and it can actually ruin the whole sky. But that's the reason why I like to get the foliage in first, and then bring the sky in, because the sky is so crucial to the light of the day, the light in the painting. It's what really does power up the light. And it needs to reflect down into the landscape, and vice versa. With more distance and depth, there would be more of the landscape reflecting up into the sky. So they're almost like mirrors onto themselves. But wanting to make sure I keep that colour intensity, the colour temperature working, because it was quite a wet season, a wet spring, so the grasses were growing, the landscape was looking magnificent. The southern part of Australia can look quite dry, and I've seen it sometimes that it almost looks like a moonscape. It's that dry, that lacking in colour. It's really quite saddening to sometimes see it in such bad shape. And then when they do have a good season, boy, it just explodes with colour and light in those beautiful spring and summer days. So I did work fairly quickly on the first pass through. So now I'm coming back with some of those subtle reflected lights. So there's a bit of the local colour of the hay bale, but also quite a bit of reflected light where the hay bale goes in that 360 degree shape and direction. I think the thing that I liked with this subject was the cast shadow from the post, even though the post was leaning more like that, and my philosophy is to straighten it as much as possible. If you need, you can put actually one going one way and one slightly the other, but if they look like that, they can actually be a distraction and kind of wanting to push the eye in a direction we don't want. But also the worst case scenario is that it looks like you don't know perspective, or you may have a very severe astigmatism, because those astigmatisms can throw our verticals and horizontals off. And I think it does look more correct and more how it should be as well, to straighten them up. So now just coming in, cleaning in around the cow there. The cow was a little addition as well, and with the benefit of hindsight, I probably would have rathered it been a little smaller and a little further back, just to create that little bit more depth and distance. I feel as though I did get him a little in the viewer's face. But the other way to look at it is I do need a certain mass on that right-hand side to balance up the left-hand side, because that is quite a big shape and it can dominate the composition, the design. But I think I was initially, I quickly realised, that I should have gone another inch or two wider, so I could have got that little bit more depth in the front and the back of the cow. But you know what, I'll probably get, if I was given another lifetime, I still probably wouldn't get through all the learning and the stuff that I would like to get through. So we just make do with the time that we've got, and I believe paint what you love and love what you paint, and allow that to be a great satisfaction, but also a comforting factor as well, that you are doing something that you really you find desirable, you find inspirational. So normally I bring in my little size 3 Master's Choice 279 Roseberry & Co brush to do the little final touches, especially on cows, chickens. It's just a great little brush to fine tune. And if we think of it as we're cutting a diamond or a sapphire, this little brush just puts those fine little facets on the finished little shape there. But this one, because I was working so fast, I think I will let this one dry and come back and rework him. So far so good. I'm really pleased with the effort up until now. So cannot ask for any more. With most paintings, there's kind of some key points. The cow's head, the shadow and light on the front of the hay shed, even the little background area, that all provides visual information, sort of keys to focal areas, but also for creating depth as well. Overall, this one was kind of a difficult scene. I was kind of working on that razor's edge, trying to push things and massage things and refine things, especially with such definite edges and shapes required. It was a great challenge, but I think with the benefit of hindsight, I think it's come out really good, especially that light on the hay shed. For me, that was the real star of the show, because I've painted a heap of cows before, but that was a different and a unique little light effect. Hope you enjoyed it. All the best. Bye for now.